Hey, good day, people. Good day. All right, so this is Cancore. Cancore is a new atomic swap by Canton Network. I think this is very important as Canton are now starting to expand some of the capabilities of what they are doing. As you all know, they work with institutions. In fact, let's go over. Let's look at some of the things that they are doing, especially based off this article. So, Canton Network processes $8 trillion in monthly RWAs, which is real world assets, and then they do 350 billion daily in treasury repo. All right, so they do this with Layer Zero as its only live interoperability rail. And what Layer Zero does is it allows, it doesn't matter what blockchain you have, it can communicate, and which is good. It's because some blockchains can only communicate with other blockchains that are similar to its protocol. So with the interoperability rail that Layer Zero creates, it allows, like I said, if you have a whole other system of a blockchain that you use, um, it doesn't matter. So everyone is able to participate. So that's pretty good. All right. Um, so here's the swap. Most of you have used swaps before, where you can come out of one token into another token. If you want to go from Bitcoin to, let's say, maybe XRP, or vice versa. All right, so you're able to do that swap. So that's really good. Uh, the fact that this you can do institutional pilots. Okay, so you got your institutionals coming in as well too. They'll be able to control settlement flows designed for automability and compliance workflows. Right, so that's pretty good. And then you got your RWAs, liquidity access settlement from Canton based on workflows to public stablecoin liquidity. You got your treasury operations, and then you got your market making as well too. Now, this is pretty good. It's because now these institutions can do a lot of instant uh, swaps. Nobody has to worry about custodial keys. Uh, you don't have to worry about, so for instance, all or nothing. If you're trying to do $1 billion in transactions of swapping into something else, it's not going to do partials. It's all or nothing, all right? And you still hold your asset, okay? Look at this time lock, so you get refund protection. So that's pretty good too. Now, some people don't think this is big, but it is. I've worked with a lot of swaps, and a lot of times you get ate up with fees because, for instance, it's still trying to find the best matchup for you. So if I'm trying to get out of an illiquid asset and swap it into something else, all right, a lot of times the system is trying to find, and then you got higher fees. Well, I lose the fee, even though there was not a match. So this is pretty good. That it's time locked. If they don't find a match, all right, refund protection is good. All right, and here's some things to talk about: liquidity pools. People can earn yields. You got instant swaps. You got auto rebalancing. Okay, that's pretty good. Um, Here we got the real world assets, liquidity access. So you think about the real world assets that's tokenized on Canton Network. So you got your bonds, you got fund shares, you got structured products. These lack direct access to deep public liquidity, but this creates that. Okay, so this, like I said, it's more on the institutional side. as well too. All right? And this was really built for. Now individuals could come in and can use this as well too, but yeah, uh, like I said, it builds the. It bridges the gap between enabling Canton-based real-world asset holders to automatically swap their tokens for EVM stablecoins. So EVM is Ethereum virtual machine. Okay, so that helps you guys to understand exactly what this is. So when you think of like Ethereum virtual machine, you're like, what is that? So, all right, Ethereum is like the network, and then like the EVM is the operating system, and then on top of that, if we create smart contracts, think of that like apps. So, take the iPhone. So the iPhone is a device that's like Ethereum, which is the network, and then you got your iOS, which is the operating system. That's like EVM. That's their operating system. And of course, you got the apps, what you actually use. So just using the iPhone terminology, now you can understand what what EVM, what that is. Okay, so you can do these programmable stable coins. All right, so we all know about smart contracts, but a lot of people don't understand where and how smart contracts will really be used when you're using stable coins that now can be programmable as well. All right, so you got your order books, auto resolve, and then you got your institutional pilots as well. All right, I already got built in the compliance gates, configurable, approvable workflows. You got dual chain transaction records. All right, and then you got restricted trading partners. So you got counterparty whitelists. That's great. All right, so here it is. Designed for, right here, okay, I'm sorry. Designed for regulated financial institutions exploring Canton Network interoperability. So they can provide a controlled sandbox environment where banks, asset managers, and custodians can pilot cross-chain settlement with full auditability and configurable compliance gates. And most of those atomic swaps, they're going to be they're going to be simple, right? So it's like a one page, right? It's not like a website. You just click it on a whole bunch of things and open up browsers. Like, no, you log in, you connect your wallet, and you're able to now make these particular swaps. Another thing I want to go over is we have Canton. All right, so Visa and Circle joined back in March, the network. And so Visa's going to be a super validator. That is huge, guys. Of course, Circle is huge as well, too. All right. Now, the super validators, once again, they sit at the top of the hierarchy. So right now, it's over 40 of them as of early 2026. So each validating transaction securing the network and contributing to governance with assigned voting weight. All right, so they get typically 10 to 5. All right, now let's go down here. Now watch this. Also, the network has over 800 validators. So Visa is a super validator. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, now, so if you look at these 800 validators, you're like, all right, what are their responsibilities? So they verify transactions. They help produce new blocks. All right, so they keep the network honest. They can help with locking up, capital by doing staking pools. Some of them can earn fees, rewards. All right. So they're like referees and like record keepers. Right. So they make sure the integrity of it. Now, you talk about super validators, right, which Visa is one of them, Circle and Zenith. Right. And they got a weighted of 10, meaning that they have more voting power, basically. All right. Um, their role is a little bit different. They got a higher responsibility, right? So they're involved in a deeper integration, and they got a stronger influence. So with them being on Canton Network, um, basically they're going to be running critical infrastructure nodes. They're going to validate like high value transactions. So this means like if something is in the billions or the trillions, right? Some of those 800 validators, they may not have the size to be able to monitor and make sure those transactions go through, right? Um, what else? So they also get, like I said, governance. They get decisions. They get the vote. All right. They get the secure large-scale institutional flows. So once again, if you need $1 trillion asset that needs to be transferred over, hey, they're the big boys at the table. They need to be able to handle that, right? Now, when you're dealing with all this money that's moving, so people don't understand how banks, truly work. The money that you have in your bank account, it's not just sitting there. It's always constantly moving, doing things. All right, that's why you get a certain savings percentage. It's because you're basically by default, lending out your money that's being moved. Yes, you can log into your account and you can see your money there, but in reality, it's not really there. You can see numbers, but your money is being at work. So what happens when you go out to eat and you make a transaction? Remember, your money probably not really sitting there right when you're looking at it, right? So it's probably being out in the market being worked, but somebody needs to validate that. Someone needs to come up with the funds and make sure that transaction actually is transferred over to wherever you spent all that stuff, right? Banks work on the back end. There's ways that they have to verify things too. So remember, this is more of a decentralized, even though this is more centralized. But you need participants in the market to make sure that these transactions are going through. Of course, a lot of these are now automated through AI systems and other advanced technologies such as smart contracts that can be able to be executed once conditions are met. So you got to realize that these super validators and all these other validators, they're working to make sure that everything runs smooth and you have the true integrity of the market. So that's why it's very important when you think about it, right? So like I said, this builds on Visa's current stablecoin activity, which includes 4.6 billion annualized run rate in settlements, right? And they got over 130 stablecoin linked card programs. Now, when we look at Canton Network, down over here is at 14 cents or whatnot. Once again, do not get distracted by price. And if anything, this is really, what I want to say, undervalued. It's a better word. I was about to say cheap, but undervalued is a better word to use. All right. But once again, do not get distracted by this. And what I mean by that is, let's say it goes lower. Let's say it goes higher. Don't get distracted on it. Instead, understand what the technology, what they're doing, and especially when the fact that they are doing, once again, over 8 trillion in monthly RWAs. That's massive. All right, so let's go over here and look at the Canton scan. Okay. Now, some of these are not going to be based off of institutions. All right. So this is more so a retail side because the institutions use a whole different blockchain that's not available to the public. And once again, that is very good. All right. Now, Canton Network also is working on the settlement industry, just like Ripple. Right. So Ripple, yes, they can transfer value for settlements. Canton Network is looking to do the same thing, and they're already plugged in with all these institutions. Now, remember I say don't get distracted by price, but I want you to look at XRP and its price or when it went to $3, almost $4 some change. I might have went to four. I can't remember. But where Canton Network is now, as far as price wise, we've seen that at one point XRP was at the same. And look how XRP was designed to work with institutions, okay? And then XLM was more so for the retail side. Canton is doing the same, and they also are being used. They're also, once again, you saw it, $8 trillion, guys. 8 trillion monthly being processed. This is phenomenal, right? So this is the use case. The utility is actually being used. Right? That's great. So right now, in the last 24 hours, you got 67,632 unique addresses. Right, you got 1.9 billion burned in the last 24 hours. Total circulation right now is at 38 billion. Right, and you got your private updates, so private network updates. So over 401,000 private updates. And I don't know exactly what this is covering. This could be the updates of maybe the private side of what we were talking about with the institutions. So I have to do a little bit more research to get that. Right now, last 24 hours, 1.6 total transfer million, transfer. So this is just looking at the Canton scan or whatnot. Let me go see how many holders they got. Let me see if it shows up over here. As far as how many people are holding. So this one doesn't give it. But once I find that information, I'll see if I can get it to you guys based on who's actually holding. Matter of fact, let's go and see if we can find it over here. All right. I haven't found it yet, but let's look at this burn rate, the burn activity. All right, so you see in July, let me see if I look at the right one. Yeah, so here go to burn. Let me make sure where you at. Yeah. So look how much being burned. 67 something million. You got your traffic purchases. All right. All right. So look. All right. So let's look over. Let's maybe go back to last year, March. Let's see. Let's do March 15th. All right. So you see over there it says the fees, and then you got traffic purchases. So Canton Network is similar to like VeChain when you got Vitho. So Vitho is like the gas that you would need to interact with, the VeChain ecosystem. All right. And so over here, like Canton is similar. So think of like Canton like a fleet of trucks. So like the traffic purchases, that's gonna be like you're filling up your tanks, and then like the fees is gonna be like the fuel burned while driving. So on this date, 122 million Canton, which came out to $750,000 basically of purchases for traffic, but then they only use $159,000 worth through the fees as far as for driving. So it's come out to about 22% of what they needed. So essentially, they're just preparing for the action. So, like, watch this. If you can purchase a lot of Canton Network coin, especially at cheaper amounts, all right, it's probably pretty good because you can use it later as actually gas fee. In fact, let's see if we can see something similar like that. This is 2024. So you see. trying to see if we can see if they're preloading, because we see. Look at the exponential, like the growth as we go up. You see the fees, but the purchasing. Look at the traffic purchase. I mean, like right here, this they bought on November 17th, $80 million worth. All right. Now, here's another thing too. So you probably like, sorry guys, you probably like, okay, what are these fees? What are you talking about? Like, how is it being moved? Um, so the fee means it's confirmed activity, it's real usage, it's operations taking place. And so, in order for you to validate a true transaction, that's movement. So it's not like messages. Like some people think it's messages being sent, and sometimes if you research this, it's gonna look like messages that you're paying for. It's not messages. It's like an email or sending a text. It's more of transactional language. All right. If I'm going to send over $1 trillion worth of money or whatnot, like we still got to communicate and make sure that stuff is confirmed. But in the meantime, to be able to move that, it still costs fees. So it's not like it is free, it is instant. Like no, some network fees that's involved in it. All right, and so you see the traffic purchases, all right, and then you see the fees. So that means, and the fees need to be cheaper for the most part. So if you look as we get into February, you got 205 million traffic purchases, and only $3.2 million worth was used. So this is what I'm talking about, the preloading aspect. That's probably what you want to see. Look how it continues to grow. By March 31st, you got over 2.8 billion Cancore was purchased, traffic purchase, right? And then the fees that happen. And so that's what the burn is happening, okay, over time, because it has to be used. Right, and here's the total supply over time. Right, and eventually we're probably going to start seeing this drop off as activities start to pick up, because the burn rate as well too. And that's what I want to get you guys to see. It's going to come to a critical mass point where the math will eventually kick in. That's why I said don't worry about that price. When that math kicks in, and this becomes a true deflationary aspect of where the burn is outpacing, that supply mechanism, and it really revs up. That's when you're going to see a true massive, like, probably shift, okay, in this. And this is the market cap stuff. So you see the market cap continue to grow. Nothing new there when it comes to that. All right. All right. So yeah, but yeah, this is a Canton scan pretty good. And as we start looking at this stuff more, we start playing around, looking at some of these other tabs here, as we could go deeper into it. But yeah. Canton is a very, very interesting project, to say the least. Yeah, I like them because they got infrastructure, play, use case, all that stuff is in order. I like what they're building out. I like how they're expanding. I like how they're adding validators. I like their role, and I feel like they're going to continue to, do so and build out. So that's really, really good at what they're doing. So let's go ahead and continue taking a look. I haven't been on their website in a minute, but yeah. Sure, it's fair governance, oversight, global synchronizer, It's a centralized system that connects everything across the Canton Network. Sorry about that. But yeah, um, they got what? Super validated nodes, got 44 of those. Now they up to 862 total validators. All right, they got daily fees of 1.9 billion. All right, so they got that 38 2 billion uh, supply. Let's go look at some of the featured apps. I haven't looked at that. Let's see if these. So here's some apps that they have, or so they got an AI co-pilot that delivers autonomous, context-aware blockchain insights. 21 shares offer a large suite of cryptocurrency exchange-traded products, including 21 shares, Canton ETP. Let's see, 5N Loop event, 7 Trust, 7. So these are let's see something. Let's see if we click on one. Let's see. I keep doing that. Sorry. Let's find. Let's try Apps Factory. See what's going on over here. It's a gateway for developers and ambassadors designed to incubate new users and projects through hackathons. Ambassador program provides streamlined onboarding tools. All right, they got gamified growth experience, unified. So they got network utilities. All right, and you can go here, see this website, see what they got going on. Huh. So we got over 228 projects. So, like I said, usually working products, apps, things that are going on. This one got an academy. You can learn more. Got videos breaking everything down. So yeah, spend a lot of time on these. Could do deeper dives and research and just learn more. But I just picked one, an app. Let's see if we can go back to the website. Okay. There's a lot of apps on here. Let's see what Bank of America talking about. What is this? Bank of America has participated in various Canton initiatives, including working groups, driving initial on change. Let's see what Bank of China talking about. Oh, okay. So I see these are like validators too. So these are some validators. All right. So a lot of these are validators. Gotcha. All right. So it tells us down here at the bottom what we see. So this is a foundation member. This is a super validator. BitGo is a super validator and a foundation member. And focus on market structure. Alright, so let's go back up here to the other one we had looked at first time, which is Apps Factory. So they are a validator as well. They got Angel Hack, they're a super validator. Alright, so this company got partnerships with something involved with IBM, Cisco, Google Cloud, NFL, Procter & Gamble, Microsoft, NASA, Amazon Web Services, Capital One. I keep doing it. They design and run end-to-end programs, hackathons, quests, bounties, events, incubators, and more that help you educate and engage. Yet they're involved with, there's a validator as on Canton Network. As you can see here, it provides developer education and programs, including learning pathways for Canton Network. So, learning pathways for who? Probably for what? Institutions, right? So institutions come to Angel Hack. They help them probably with the learning pathways for Canton understanding how to use it. And they're a foundational member. So you see all the dots that being connected. Pretty sure we go a lot deeper. I just like to probably end the video here on this note. Alright, so pay attention just to infrastructure. And nobody in your household right now is talking about no Canton Network. Only thing they know about Canton is the NFL has their Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. That's probably the only thing they know about something with Canton in it. But this is something that's contrarian. If we pay attention to, these are the availability of where we start to understand. It's like, okay, I'm ahead of the crowd. With contrarians, we can build a stable position if we pay attention. Right? It doesn't take a lot. Just be consistent. And that is not financial advice. Right? So, but you get what I'm saying. All right, y'all have a great one. Y'all enjoy y'all evening.